to another Sessions at On That Note. And with me today is Jason Garcia of Household Names. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for coming over. We had been trying to do this for, I don't know how many months.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while. I've been wanting to talk with you about some new things that you had going on and the new CD, Stories, No Names, that you have out right now. But before that, I mean, today was a big news day in Austin.
Yes.
A terrible thing happened today. A plane crashed into a building in Austin, and apparently the guy did it on purpose.
Yeah, it was very strange. Obviously you hope that, things like this are a terrible accident, but it's awful when you find out that it's actually something intentional.
Well, we'll move on to happier things.
Yes, like your cat.
Yeah, well, Kylie is here.
She's very happy.
As my co-host.
Very
and
happy.
She's just staring at Jason. She seems to like you a lot.
I have that effect on cats.
Cats, well, that's good.
Yes.
So I've known you for a long time because I used to come to your shows when I first moved to Austin. You're just one of those bands that I remember from, when I first moved here in 99, 2000, that I would go out to hear a lot. And that album from that time frame, The Trouble with Being Nice, which I love that album title, has some of my favorite songs from Austin as well. So
I've
been kind of following what you've been doing that whole time. And so when did you come to Austin to start making music?
For college, really. So it was, about, giving away my age here. 94-ish was when I sort of became like a permanent resident. But then, I didn't really actually start really doing anything kind of semi-professional until about 2000, really, when we did Trouble with Being Nice. And then that was when I kind of got my first real entry into the music business, as it were.
Okay.
It's been about 10 years since then.
I don't think I realized that The Trouble with Being Nice was sort of your first entry when I saw you play back then. And you were playing with different people back then?
Yeah, we had different bands set up. Those guys ended up moving, and so now, the current lineup is, we've been together for like 2 years now, I think so, something like that. But I've been with Chris Peters, the bass player, for a little bit longer than that, since like 2003 or so.
Okay. And so how did you start playing music?
Let's see. Well, when I was like 5th grade, well, actually, it starts even earlier than that because I took piano lessons when I was like 5. And then, so I took piano lessons for about like a year or two, and then I was in a couple of recitals, like where you dress up and you get the tie and you got the overly large suit jacket because you're just a little kid and you're, wearing a suit. And so you go on stage and you play like your little piano songs in front of, all the little parents and stuff. And so I did this a couple of times, and then I quit because I didn't want to be on stage.
You didn't get the bug?
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, looking back on it now, it's like I quit because I didn't want to be on stage. It's really odd. So I quit even after I got Most Outstanding Student for October 1980.
See, that was just a foreboding thing there, and basically, your future was laid out for you.
Right there. Mm-hmm. No, but then I actually took a long break from music from like then till middle school, really, when I picked up my dad's acoustic guitar.
Okay.
Started figuring some stuff out on it.
Okay.
So.
Do people in your family play music?
Yeah, my dad plays music. Actually, my whole dad's side of the family is very musical. My cousin is in like an orchestra. He's in the, I want to say it's I'm terrible for not knowing this. He's in some kind of like major orchestra, and he tours all over the world, basically.
What does he play?
He plays the trombone, but there's like a bunch of musicians in my family, but pretty much everyone on my dad's side is, my grandfather played piano and a jazz combo. So, yeah, I think that's where I got it.
So, a lot of your music is sort of pop, indie, rock stuff. What kind of things influenced you back then when you first started playing?
Really, the first band had to have been the Monkees, because that was right when I started picking up the guitars, when they had the MTV started rerunning the series, and so those were just like, that was even before I was into the Beatles. It was just Monkees, and I watched the show, and I taped all the songs off of the show there, and tried to figure them out with my bad guitar playing.
Simple 3-chord pop songs, but they were good. I mean, they were what they were.
No, and actually, I think the Monkees, even now, I will go on record as saying that the Monkees they have some really classic songs.
Yeah.
And
talented guys.
Mickey Dolenz is one of the greatest vocalists, I think.
And then a good entree into the Beatles. Like
yes,
that was too young to really appreciate the Beatles when the Monkees were out, and then later you can be like, oh,
it was a good primer, and it was sort of interesting because my dad actually did have like all the old records, so it wasn't like I never heard the Beatles.
So you've been a musician in Austin then for a really long time. What is your take on being a working musician in Austin? I mean, sort of what, other than college, I mean, what got you into the scene of being a performing musician?
Well, really what it was that we had put out Trouble with Being Nice, and then we thought, well, we have to promote it somehow. So, because the funny thing was, I put together the album by myself before we even had a band. So, obviously, I couldn't go out and play those songs just by myself.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think I realized that until I started reading some stuff up about it, where it was like sort of like a solo project for you, but then you put a band around it.
Yeah. So basically, it was just because we wanted to promote it. Because we thought it was worth promoting. So, obviously, if you're going to do something, you should hopefully think it's worth promoting. Mm-hmm. So that's really how it started. And it's difficult. I think being a musician in Austin is kind of difficult. When I was just talking with somebody about this today, there are so many... Actually, I was talking to my dad about it today. We were just talking about it at lunch. He was like, it just seems like whenever I look in the paper, there's so many bands. And it's like... Monday through Sunday, just lists of like every club has got like
and I keep up with music, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. And I think really what it comes down to, and I've been saying this for a while, there's only so many people in this town that will go out to see live music.
I think there are more musicians than there are people going out to see live music.
Really, I know, and that's kind of the reality of being a musician in Austin is just it's hard to get people to come see you because. There's so many bands playing, and there's only so many people that can do that and do it every night. That's another story altogether.
You've done some things with some placements of songs in TV shows and stuff like that. So how do you kind of work that angle?
Well, that is actually one of the main ways that the business is changing. I think about 5 years ago, no one in the indie world really was thinking about licensing, or if they were just there weren't that many people doing it. I don't think licensing companies nowadays. It seems like there's everyone in their brother has a licensing company that they're starting up, and so I think that's one of the ways that I've seen having to shift focus. Because if you're going to make any money in this business now, you have to license your music to TV and
TV or commercials or film or whatever. Yeah.
And back in the day, that was considered selling out. Yeah. Where I think anyone who's calling that selling out now is really you're not with it.
Once you saw that Spoon Jaguar commercial with "I Turn My Camera On," that was kind of like, yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works. It's like, and pretty much every indie band is like,
I want that.
That is what I want.
I love Phoenix, but I don't think the Cadillac commercial works as well as the Jaguar "I Turn My Camera On."
Yeah.
In terms of the fit and the hipness. Cadillac is obviously trying to be hipper.
Right. Well, obviously. I mean, that's the whole point is that is the great thing about indie music is that these companies do want to seem like on the cutting edge. They do want to seem like they're discovering somebody. And so it's just a great opportunity to they have what you want and you have what they want. So it's a very mutual
I think it's
relationship.
Yeah, it's definitely perfect when you can make the right situation occur. And definitely a good way to get your music out there.
Yeah,
too,
for sure. And make some cash because some of those, I mean, they're not paying you millions of dollars like they would be for, a Led Zeppelin track.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody who's, kind of just getting by on whatever change they can get, like that's pretty big change.
So, not to give away any of your trade secrets, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know, like, how do I do that? How do you go about getting those placements?
Well, there's actually some great. What I've learned right now is that there's some great sites that are what are kind of called catalog sites, where basically you upload your music to them to be used in their catalog. So basically, it's just like a big lot of tracks that they have, and then people can easily people who are looking for music can just easily go to the website, kind of type in the kind of mood and feel they're looking for.
So there's like tags on.
Yeah, there's like tags, and they come up, and your music is pre-cleared on these sites usually, which means that they don't have to go through the whole process of, getting the rights and whatever. You basically say, you can use this for this usage, and it's pre-cleared so that they basically just go, oh, I want to buy this and use it. They just click buy, and they've got a song.